Alright guys, it's still Memorial Day. I did a lick down check instead of compression to see what was really going on. Number 3 looks pretty crappy. We got probably about roughly a month before streetcar takeover, so we're going to try to get a cam made for this turbo and just re-ring the bottom end and see if it needs anything else. Last year we didn't touch it at all, but you know, having that lean drop at Bristol definitely messed number 3 up a little bit. So we're going to see what we got going on there and figure if we can get past this wall. So time to take it apart. Alright, so we got the flywheel off. Let's check out where it pushed the rear main. She's a bit out, so that's what excessive crankcase pressure does when you try to use a substance that doesn't breathe in your catch can. Alright, now we get this thing on the stand and we get tore apart some more. So we got number 3 out. The piston looks great, thankfully. Sorry if it's loud, it's over the air compressor. You can see where the number 2 ring, sorry about that. I'll show a picture also. Missing a little bit on the edge, so that's mostly where it got hot, probably butted up. But we're gonna get some rings for it and get another cam designed for the 94mm and get her freshened up here before streetcar takeover and whatever else is coming up. I'll report back soon. What's up? Really didn't do any updates on Saturday, but we got a lot done. I ran down to Lenny at Ultimate Converter Concepts, and he took a look at our converter, made sure everything was okay with it as we're trying to chase this 60-foot demon back down, trying to figure out where it went. It checked out good. Then I got back here, and John had taken some measurements, and we got a new rear mount catch can system built up. The car's not on a lift still, but I'll try to get you pictures of that later. Another update. almost got the short block back together. This wasn't a full rebuild by any means. I was going to put new rings on everything, but they were all on back order with no real timeline. So I got 2 packs of rings, and number 3 was the one that was low on leak down. I should say high on leak down, low on compression. Replaced it, and then the second closest one, number 3, was 64%. Number 5 was 21%. So the next closest one, we went ahead and replaced it to. The rest of them range from 11 to 19%. Not worried. It's not a street car. This thing doesn't smoke or anything. Usually. So we roll with that. A couple of the bearings showed some signs. Number 3 looked it didn't. You couldn't feel anything, but the coating was a little rough on it. I figured probably whenever when I lifted the head and at SCT Bristol, that it smashed down the bearing. It's kind of rough on them when that stuff happens. But we did replace 3 of the bearings as well. Number, I believe, 3, 6, and this will be number 8 as well. So once again, none of them had anything you could feel, but you can see a little wear in the coating. And this thing does have some issues on D-cell. When the chute comes out, it does slosh away from the pickup, so that probably doesn't help as well. But overall, it looks good. The car always has good oil pressure, so I'm not really worried. Just figured some simple things while I'm here, and I had some on the shelf. One thing that is making this go so smooth, and I'm not even, this isn't a paid advertisement by any means, but this BTR ring compressor, this thing's great. I've used other versions before on other engines, and it's the first one I've ever gotten for the LS stuff, but man, it makes it so much faster and easier. Put it on there, grab your piston, just rechecking the ring orientation on this one, since got it out, and I like to put them in a certain spot. The pistons say forward on it, right there. So boom, it's in the hole. So 10 million times easier than fighting with the one adjustable ring compressor. I've used that for years, and I always have. It's always the worst part about doing it. I gotta run to the post office and see where my dial indicator is for the lifter bore, so I can verify the cam is installed correctly. The post office is, like always, playing games with getting the stuff in a timely manner. You want to make sure that whenever you put your rod cap on, that your bearing tangs line up together. And if you get them backwards, 9 times out of 10 they'll be really tight anyway, so you'll know something's wrong. But I think we're stuck in degree mode. K1 calls for 30 foot-pounds and 60 degrees, or 68 to 72 thousandths worth of stretch. To get this thing in stretch mode, you gotta get it on a flat surface. I like to let it reset between each one. So, cool. Now that's always give the rod a little shake right there just to make sure everything feels all good. And I always do these things one by one. That way I can make sure, that way if you have something start binding up, you can tell right away which one it is. But, so there she goes. We also got the Michigan Motorsports rear plunger and the oil filter bypass block off. Just a couple things to help bring up oil pressure. And that should be it. I'm going to get this thing covered back up, and then tonight we'll get the oil pan heads and stuff back on it, I'm sure. Assuming the post office has my tool. If not, I'll do it with a stand with like a magnetic base and micrometer, but I prefer to do it a bit easier way since I can nowadays. But yeah, so that was that little lesson. Buy this thing. Okay guys, we got the new cam in from BTR, verified TDC on number 1, and now I'm just going to check the degree. I did it earlier, we were 2 degrees retarded, so let's see what we get now. So use a dial indicator here, and the lifter board is made for this. And we'll go, we're at peak cam lift currently. We'll go 50 thousandths one direction. It'll be kind of jumpy, so when you do this, be prepared to do it 28 times. We get right to that point, and I'll go past it. Alright. So this first direction, we got 30, 40, 50. Looks like 55. Hit peak lift again, and go 50 thousandths the opposite direction. Going backwards on this one, so you want to get the chain slack out. Here we got 62. So it gives us a total of 217 divided by 2. That is 108.5. We're looking for intake center line of 1.9, 108.5, some easily some error. So I'll side with that. I think we're good to go. Alright guys, update. We were going to have the heads on and probably everything bolted up and ready to drop back in. And then one of the thread strips. So as you can tell, it's pretty awesome. I'm going to call a local machine shop that we use in the morning. See if I can bring the block by and they can knock it out while I wait. Maybe tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Thursday or Friday. If not, I guess I can get the kit. It just cost $1 million, so I don't want to buy it. But anyways, that's where we're at for tonight. Kind of had that hold up on the right side. Lefty here is good to go. So just got one of these things. If it would have been one of the smaller bolts, I probably wouldn't have cared. But unfortunately, this is on the end of the block, and you know, I'm sure it'll cause problems. So I'll have that video here soon, and hopefully have some positive updates on this thing. What's up, guys? Got some progress here. We ended up getting the stud hole fixed. Thankfully, I used to work at a Chevrolet dealership, and it's right by my house, and thankfully I'm still in good there. So they let me borrow a kit to fix that stuff, and it worked out great. So it's a learning experience, and hopefully it doesn't happen again, because I don't have a kit on standby, and a kit's like anywhere from $450 to $500 or more, and that really interferes with race car parts. But let's kind of go over what we did again. Placed the rings on 2 of the cylinders. We've done more, but that's all they had in stock and all we could get. I know some people were like, well, if you're going to do it, do them all at once. But you know, the race is coming up, and not like we had much of a leak down on other cylinders to really be worried about. And put the new cam in from Brian Tooley Racing. Once again, Nick Evdo's spec'd it for us. And I changed 3 of the rod bearings. They all look good, but the one on number 3, it looked a little funny. It probably got slammed down on whenever lifted the head on that cylinder. And who knows, maybe it's some junkers in the motor at some point. But yeah, it'll be good to go. Just got to get this mechanical pump on, alternator on, get the engine off the stand, put on the new rear cover with the rear main seal, and flex plate, and then be time to drop her in. Alright guys, it's about 10:13 on Thursday night, June 6th. We've got this engine ready to go back in. So I guess we're going to do that. I got to transfer some stuff off the memory card, then I can record a bit more. So sorry for not being prepared. If you want to see us put the motor back in, though, you can just go back and watch, I think, the second video. And it's basically the same thing again. Alright guys, I got the data transferred off my SD card so I could record some more. It's been a little over an hour, but we got the engine in, converter bolted up, trans bolted up, all that good stuff. Still gotta get the intake manifold on the fuel lines, and I still gotta decide what I'm gonna do on the surge setup. But good progress for a Thursday night. It's about let me see what time it is here. It's 11:45. So that's probably like about an hour and a half since the last time I talked to you guys, give or take. Alright guys, we've already primed the engine, primed the fuel system. We just modified the surge tank. Hopefully by moving the overflow, it'll fix our issue. Now it'll be the first fire up since we changed a few things.
go if you want.
Here it is. Get your haircut out. little bit of an issue getting the pump primed for the fuel, but once it finally picked up, as you can tell, it fired up pretty well and ran pretty good. So now we just got to get water back in the system and got all that bled.